What is Dante? Part of the Dante Certification Program, Level 1, Section 3. Let's start with the definition. Dante is a hardware and software solution that transports precisely timed digital audio between devices using standard IP networking. Audinate develops this technology for the audio industry, ensuring that all manufacturers have a 100% interoperable high-performance solution, no matter what the brand. Dante builds upon IP networking to provide a host of features designed to make audio systems easier to deploy and use while delivering pristine, bit-perfect sound. All Dante devices use human-readable names. All audio is synchronized to a tolerance of 1 microsecond or less for precision time alignment. All devices are discovered automatically upon connection. There's no need to configure devices to get them on a Dante network. Dante offers one-click routing of channels. It's really that easy. Dante also offers low, 100% deterministic latency and a clocking scheme that eliminates sources of jitter and clock propagation problems. And finally, Dante offers automatic reconnection of all devices and channels after a power cycle or teardown and setup cycle. In products, Dante interfaces are internally connected in just the same way as other digital I/O you might use, such as MADI, AES-3, or others. The difference is that rather than going from point to point with cables, the audio is placed on a network where it can be freely distributed to as many other devices as you like, using software. As in many products that use interface cards, additional configuration may be required to tell the product to use audio from a particular interface. A moment about bandwidth. Because many audio professionals have experience using older digital transports such as CobraNet or MADI, they're accustomed to seeing strict channel count limitations, typically in the range of approximately 64 channels. It's natural to assume that Dante might have similar constraints. But it doesn't. The use of standard gigabit networking allows Dante to scale far beyond earlier systems, supporting as many as 512 bidirectional channels of audio for a single device on a single network port. Referring back to our discussion of audio bandwidth earlier, we can see that typical settings of 48 kHz sample rate and 24-bit depth, a 64-channel bidirectional Dante device using all channels consumes only 1/8 the capacity of a gigabit link. This means that a Dante network can safely handle hundreds or even thousands of channels overall. Recalling the description of sample rate earlier, we know that it's key to communicating digital audio. Because Dante doesn't convert sample rates, you may only connect channels of devices that are running at the same sample rate. If you attempt a subscription between channels with unequal sample rates, you will receive a clear error message. Now, you may use different sample rates at one time on a Dante network, but only devices with common sample rates will be able to connect. Recall that as sample rate increases, so does the amount of bandwidth required for each second of audio transmitted. As a result, devices that support 64 channels at 48 kHz may only support 32 channels at 96 kHz. Double the sample rate, double the bandwidth per channel, and hence half the number of channels. Dante supports all commonly used sample rates, from 44.1 kHz up to 192 kHz. Different products will typically support a subset of sample rates to match the internal capabilities of that product. We defined latency earlier as the time required for a system to deliver audio from an input to an output. In Dante, latency is strictly defined and consistent. Default latency device is 1 millisecond, far below the threshold of noticeability for live performances or studio overdubs. At this setting, receiving devices can be as much as 10 switch hops away from transmitters, a situation applicable to only very, very large networks. You can set Dante devices to go as low as 150 microseconds or as high as 5 milliseconds to suit different needs. And this setting is made on a per-device basis. When discussing digital audio fundamentals earlier, we talked about how important the word clock is. So, how does Dante handle clocking? While many adjustments are permitted, the important thing to know is that by default, Dante handles clocking 100% automatically. Dante uses an election process that chooses the best clock master among devices, and all devices on the network use that clock as a reference for synchronization. While a clock master is used to synchronize devices on the network, each Dante device incorporates its own high-quality clock. And by using this approach, jitter is eliminated as a problem on a Dante network, regardless of size. It's worth mentioning at this point what Dante does not do. We often get questions. Dante is strictly audio transport. The audio data is not modified in any way and is delivered bit for bit from any source to any destination. Hence, it doesn't perform tasks such as sample rate conversion, level control, MIDI, or SMPTE timecode. These and other items are handled inside products that support Dante. And control data, such as MIDI or level control, can easily be transmitted alongside Dante audio between devices, but Dante itself is not involved. Please continue to Section 4 of the Dante Certification Program, Level 1.